meeting is being recorded.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chiefin with Dilly Dill. I am your host, Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonny Harris. Lonny, how you doing today, bro?
Good. Doing good.
Man, that's good. So we got a slew of topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to touch on the Chat GPT top 10 Chiefs list that they provided us during this week. We also going to talk about some rumors that we've been hearing around. Chiefs might be in the market for a wide receiver. Also, a little rumor as well too with Chase Young, DN, that might be traded, that we're looking to trade for him with the Washington Commanders. You know, they just declined his 5th-year option. And then also talk about some other contract details that's coming out as well too, in some league news. So to start it all off, Lonny, let's go ahead and jump into this Chat GPT top 10 list that the Kansas City Chiefs it was provided on the Chat GPT, excuse me. So I'm gonna go down the list, and then afterwards, I just want to hear your thoughts. Like, what changes that you feel like you'll make, who you feel like you will push in, push out. So starting at number 1, of course, they have two-time Super Bowl MVP, two-time Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes. They got the all-time great Chief legend, Len Dawson, at number 2. One of the greatest linebackers in Kansas City Chiefs history at number 3, Derek Thomas. At number 4, one of the best tight ends from Kansas City. Might have some arguments there coming sooner or later, Tony Gonzalez. At number 5, of course, the all-pro guard, Will Shields. One of the best defensive linemen in Chiefs history, Bobby Bell, at number 6. One of the leading yards per carry running backs in the league during his time here at Kansas City, one of the most electrifying, Jamal Charles, at number 7. Another great running back in Priest Holmes, who has put up great numbers under that offense with Dick Vermeil and that great offensive line he had with him. At number 9, you have Willie Lanier. And then number 10, all great wide receiver, Otis Taylor. Now, Lonny, what are your thoughts on that?
Patrick Mahomes, number 1, is great. Len Dawson, number 2, I respect it. I understand why they did Len Dawson as number 2. He helped us win another Super Bowl.
Our first Super Bowl.
Yeah, first Super Bowl. I'm sorry. No disrespect to the late great Len Dawson. Yeah, Channel 9. I'm sorry. But yeah, they helped us win our first Super Bowl. Derek Thomas, I definitely understand. Great also as well. Tony Gonzalez, I think we have an argument there, but that's also a great, all-time great, ducking on the goalpost, iconic. Will Shields, of course, great offensive lineman. Just one of those road raiders back in the day. Bobby Bell, yes, great. I feel like all of those are great. Only thing I feel like we have an argument with is just when we get to the older players down here at 9 and 10. I feel like if we're gonna put Pat in there, we gotta put Trav in there. Like I feel like Trav he's earned that respect, especially if we're gonna put Tony in there. It's no disrespect to Tony, but Trav has 2 Super Bowls, and he's put up great 1,000-yard seasons for I think the last 5 years now, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a great tight end, and I feel like he if we're gonna put those older players in there, I know they were on that first Super Bowl team, but we got to put Trav in there. He's earned that respect, I feel like, especially from the Chiefs community and from just analysts and everybody on the field. Just the numbers speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, Tony Gonzalez he's going to stay on there regardless. Like, he's definitely a top 10 Chief of all time. I think you can maneuver and shift it down, but really, even if you leave him at number 4, you got to put Travis Kelce at least above Otis Taylor and Willie Lanier. I think that's automatic. I mean, this is a tight end that has had almost 5, 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons as a tight end. Looking to make that 6 this upcoming year. His numbers in the postseason is phenomenal. I mean, the offense runs off of him, so I think it's only right to keep him in there. Now, I will say I will move Jamal Charles up probably to 5 and move Will Shields down to 6 and Bobby Bell down to 7, just because. And I'm going to be honest to you, OGs. Don't come at me. This is what I saw during that era in the early 2010s, going up until he left the Kansas City Chiefs and he had that 1 year with but it was phenomenal. Like, come on, bro. He averaged 5.4 yards in carry. He also was one of the best at the backfield, catching the football and also getting the yards per catch as well too. He just was someone who was electrifying and he shifted the game. If Jamal Charles was on that game, the Chiefs was winning that game. I don't care if the defense gave up 5 touchdowns. Did we not see what he did in that Raiders game? He had 6 total. That's great. That's great. Like, I understand it's the Raiders. I'm not trying to, and no offense to Raider fans or anything like that. That's still an NFL professional team. But to do that against some professionals at that level, it was just phenomenal. It was remarkable. And what he did, even in our years when we went 2-14, 4-12, we weren't the greatest, he was a show. This is the reason why Kansas City Chiefs fans is one of the best in the National Football League, just because we were going out there when we were horrible, but we had players who are electrifying. So honestly, my argument is just having Jamal Charles move up, but you got to include Travis Kelce in this list because of what he did in Kansas City. Now, I don't want to stay too long on this topic. I'm sure we'll come back to this later on in the future and talk about it a little bit more. But I just wanted to bring it out there and bring it into the loop of what's going on, because I feel like this is important, and it's shifting up to the community right now as well too. So we're going to definitely get more opinions on that. But I'm always going to get my honorable mention. I know y'all gonna hate me. I don't care. Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe. Dwayne Bowe. I don't care. He was that. I don't care. No hands at all. Still getting 4+ 4+ 1,000-yard seasons in a row. Missing 4 games. Smoking weed. And had to pay 12 games and still getting over 1,000 yards. I think he's one of the leading receivers in Chiefs history as well too. I'm just saying. Honorable mention. I'm not going to put him in 10 and 9 because I'm not even going to shake nothing up right now. But I'm going to tell you why later. He's in mine, though. He's great. He's in mine, though. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the next topic. So Brett Veach, he has been calling around to NFL teams about different wide receivers that he would like to acquire. Of course, we have always been in the talks for DeAndre Hopkins. Also, it's been rumors that he has contacted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well for Mike Evans. Sure that they're probably not going to try to give him up, but hey, why not try with them being a team that's in rebuild mode? Tom Brady's gone now. They got Baker Mayfield. Well, Baker Mayfield, that's why they probably try to keep him still, just because they have a starting quarterback who started in the league before. So not taking away nothing from that, but they're in a mode right now where they're trying to rebuild, and who knows, they might want to get rid of those contracts of where free up some space, try to start over again. I mean, they won their Super Bowl already, so they already feel good about themselves. Being a couple years ago, understand that at the same time it was still within 5 years, so they feel right now maybe they could just jump and make some moves and push on from the old ones. And then also a guy I've been thinking about is Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. He's coming up on his rookie deal, and I believe they declined his option and may be trying to move on forward from him. They have took some trades. They have took some trade offers from him. Haven't made any friction yet, but this is a type of player that the Chiefs like to go after. Someone who's young, who is dynamic, and you can bring along and go a part of that. So really, just all depends. But Lonnie, how do you feel about that?
So DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like that is kind of ran its course through this year, just as far as him. Oh, he's want to leave the Buffalo Soldier stuff, everything from the reactions to the different teams. I feel like that's all ran its course. I think if he doesn't, if the team is not winning in Arizona and they don't show any promise late in the season, I think it can be a season acquisition. But anything other than that, I can't see any smoke on the home front there. Mike Evans, Mike Evans is of course a great wide receiver, Super Bowl champion. I feel like you said they're in rebuild mode down there. I don't feel like they're in win now mode down there. Especially just with the quarterback situation. When you don't have a starting quarterback in the league, it's hard to win. So, with that being said, I feel like Mike Evans, there is a possibility. I see that it was a pre June 1st cap hit is 20 million, but a post June 1st is 13 million for whatever team takes it on. So, I feel like you got to be ready to eat that cap hit. We know how Veach feels about his cap. So
Need that money.
taking on different players, he wants his money. So Brandon Ayuk, so I feel like that he might pull the trigger on that. It could be a late season acquisition, but like I said, we would have to see if let's see how the first couple of games go down there with Baker, and then see if they can get that quarterback situation figured out. If we get into training camp and he's not moved before then, because we don't
Evans.
really know what's going. Yeah, Mike Evans, because we really don't know what's going on down there. Brandon Ayuk, I feel like you said, that's one of those athletic guys that we love here in Kansas City. We cherish those athletic guys. We just picked up one of San Francisco's own, Richie James. Actually was in San Francisco before he was in New York. And very same type of guy, a very, very athletic. If you don't remember Richie James, he was a guy doing backflips for San Francisco on those kickoffs and different things. He was really, 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 really athletic guy. But yes, Brandon Ayuk, I feel like, he have a great opportunity. He's also going into a situation where we don't really know the quarterback situation with the Brock Purdy injury, and we have the Trey Lance injury. They're both coming off injury. So if they're not winning early in the year either, I could also see that being a late acquisition, or that them talks continuing even on into the season.
I think the best pickup for the Chiefs would be Mike Evans, just because you get that position wide receiver that you lost in Juju Smith-Schuster, who went over to the Patriots. This is a type of wide receiver that a lot of fans has been talking about in recent years, like, oh, we need that bigger body guy, because you had guys like Tyreek Hill, you had McCole Hardman, you had also Sammy Watkins as well too, even though he was injured, but he was a speedster as well, but he was a bigger body frame. But at the same time, Mike Evans is that all around wide receiver that you want in that position. This is someone who can jump ball very well. He's tall as well too, and then he's also very physical on the line of scrimmage, and he can beat those press coverage situations when they're trying to jam the wide receiver. So really having that style wide receiver along with Travis Kelce at tight end, and then you still got Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore coming along as well too. You have a lot of options to where it makes sense on the offensive end. But Mike Evans will have to come in and really change up his game as well too, because this is an offense who really goes off their speed, but they still have uses for those type of guys in the offense as well too, especially when you're doing vertical routes or posts down the field. You still got Marquez Valdes-Scantling as well too, who is our deep ball threat. So it just adds more in that room, and then that experienced, groomed type of individual who won a Super Bowl already, who played with a great quarterback in Tom Brady. So it just makes the most sense of bringing him in. However, Brandon Ayuk is the one that makes the most sense, just due to the fact that this is a type of guy that Brett Veach likes. He wants to bring in that speed type of guy, elusive type of guy on the offense to where you can do anything with him on the offensive side. He moves around. He jet sweeps very well. He's a motion guy that moves around the offense and shifts those cornerbacks and those DBs and makes them think where to look. So bringing that type of skill over to Kansas City will work a lot, well. And of course, we want DeAndre Hopkins, but it ran its course, like you said. It's over. I think right now they can prove us wrong still. I know a lot of people will still think that it can possibly happen, but at the same time, I think it's time for us to prepare for the future. And I think the GM in Arizona as well too said that they want to try to make this work with DeAndre Hopkins as well, especially with them rebuilding that team. They feel like they did well in the draft to where they can work with everything that they got. So I feel they're going to try to work something out with him, especially with 2 years being left in his contract. I think they're just going to let it play out and then let him be a free agent either next year or the year following after that. So, Kansas City fans, I think it's time to start looking in a different direction. Like, let it go. And it's okay because at the same time, the Chiefs still have acquisitions that will contribute to the offense. You got to remember, we signed Justin Ross, and we still got Justin Ross and John Ross, who we had Justin Ross picked up as an undrafted free agent last year, and then John Ross, who was a reserve free agent at the end of the season. And this is a speedster, came out the same time as Patrick Mahomes. So they feel like they got the youth and the talent in those positions. Now it's just time to go into trading camp, seeing what they can put out, what product that they have, and who will make the team. So really, wide receiver, it's not the most important, but Beach already said before that he's not going to hesitate to add talent to an offense that's already loaded. Giving more weapons to Patrick Mahomes, giving more weapons to Andy Reid, all it does, it makes you more in a winning position going forward when it comes to the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. I think right now, my favorite, I would like to go after Mike Evans, but the more realistic is Brandon Ayuk. So we'll see how that goes. Now, okay, we're going to jump off for a little bit. We're going to give you a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with our second half of the show. Talk to you soon.
What up, KC? After yet another Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business or your services to a very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. We've started Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media broadcasting hub that brings you multiple different live shows covering all the local Kansas City sports teams. We're offering 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, event sponsorships, show sponsorships, studio sponsorships, and much, much more. If you want more information or if this sounds like an opportunity for you, either contact me or hit that contact us link on the website.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the episode. Now, jumping into some league news, we're going to do a roundup of the NFL. So, starting off, I'd like to give a shout out and also give recognition to a civil rights activist that played in the NFL for 9 seasons, all-time NFL running back, Jim Brown. He passed away on Friday, March 19th. His wife actually announced it on social media a couple hours ago. And, this is just some sad news. This is a gentleman that lived a great life. He affected the world. He did a lot of things in the civil rights era with helping with trying to get the rights of African Americans and fight for justice with the African American community. So first, we would like to give a moment of silence for him and RP to one of the greats. All right, Lonny, you got anything to say about that before I move on to any other league news?
And yeah, just Jim Brown is great. One of the greatest running backs of all time. One of the great Brownies. Like you said, just really want to pay homage to that, to what a great man he was, and a great civil rights activist, really pushing the envelope and advancing us forward as far as that the African American community goes, as far as civil rights and politics and also on the field as well. So yes, real life shout out to Jim Brown, and rest in peace, Jim Brown. Um, rest his soul. Yes.
Right. Well, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Jim Brown family. But moving forward, also we have other news around the league that has been going on. So the Arizona Cardinals signed wide receiver Brian Cobbs. They also signed defensive back 2023 third round pick, signed him to his rookie contract. For the Houston Texans, they signed linebacker Jacob Martin. He signed a 1 year deal with Houston, of course, the NFL Network. Insider Ian Rappaport. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs have signed their first round draft pick in 2023, edge rusher Felix Nduke Uzama. He signed his contract. Details should come out soon about that, but more than likely, I believe that will probably be a 4 year deal. Raiders signed offensive guard Grand Van Roten. Los Angeles Chargers also signed D lineman Nick Williams. And then injury update for the Philadelphia Eagles. Right tackle Lane Johnson says he's officially cleared so he can return to football activities and will be good for next season. And then also the Washington Commanders signed center Ricky Stromberg, third round pick in the NFL 2023 NFL draft, and also offensive tackle Braden Daniels as well. So that's the league news for rookie signings and also other signings across the league from those NFL organizations. And before we move on, also wanted to bring this up as well. Cal Shanahan also said that he also believes Sam Darnold could be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Brock Purdy, of course, should be out for the remainder of this upcoming season. And then Trey Lance is also coming back from an injury that he suffered last season, ACL injury. So, Lonny, what's your thoughts about that? Will the 49ers be moving in the right direction? Do you think Darnold could be the answer? Because Shanahan says he believes that he can actually get him back to elite level when he was first drafted.
Darnold wasn't the answer with the Jets. Darnold wasn't the answer with the Panthers. That is not to say Darnold cannot be the answer with the 49ers. Shanahan is a quarterback friendly coach. That's a quarterback guru, as we like to say. That offense is very quarterback friendly. A lot of backup quarterbacks get in that offense and do great, a la Brock Purdy, a la just call it a lot of different quarterbacks get in that system and just are able to do good. It's a very it's a run heavy system, so not really relying on the arm, a lot of play action. So I could see Sam Darnold possibly being the starter, but I see Trey Lance more than likely being the day one starter there, with him being that first pick coming off of that broken leg, and him really trying to flourish. I seen he was working out in California, putting in some work. I really think it's a lot of promise there. I want to see what the ceiling is. Being that Carson Wentz was our last North Dakota State pick that we had, so and we see where he's at now. So we really have to see. But like I said, they're with the quarterback friendly coach. That's a quarterback friendly system. I feel like it's going to be up in the air, and we're gonna have a good quarterback battle there in San Francisco for sure.
Yeah, my quick thoughts on it is I think he can end up being a starting quarterback just due to the fact that we saw what he was able to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Trey Lance still has some room for improvement, and it's never a bad thing to just take your time. Sam Darnold being a veteran in the league for the last couple of years, even though he had his troubles with past organizations, left the Jets, went over to the Panthers, had some solid games with them, but I believe he ended up getting hurt. And then they had to pick up Baker Mayfield. And then now he's signed with the 49ers. Cal Shanahan, he's an offensive guru as well, too, along with being a quarterback guru, someone who works effectively with these type of guys. So I think, like you said, they're a run-heavy team. However, they do have some playmakers on the outside, and it's not like he's a bad passer of the football as well, too. This is someone who has put up some great numbers in games before. So putting him out there in front of a good offensive line and then having weapons surrounded around him as well, too, he will be in position to where he can succeed. And, being in that type of offense as well too, it can hide the inefficiencies from those type of quarterbacks. So being able to be a part of an organization and just a well-sounded team with having a great defense who's going to put you in great position as well too when they have turnovers, and then also capitalizing off of that as well too with touchdowns, being able to drive downfield, they can somewhat probably do something similar to when they went to Super Bowl 54 against the Kansas City Chiefs when it was led by the defense, but you had Deebo Samuel, you had George Kittle, you also have Christian McCaffrey now as well too, who had a phenomenal second half of the season with the 49ers. So they have the potential to really do that. And with him being a veteran, I think it will make the most sense. So we'll see how that goes. They're filled up over there, so they don't have too much to worry about. So let's jump over to some more Kansas City news. We're going to talk about some rumors. So recently, some insiders, Sports Illustrated, they actually have said that defensive end Chase Young could be a possible trade option for the Kansas City Chiefs. We know that this will be a game-changing move at these defensive end for them. He had his fifth-year rookie option declined by the team, so he will still play this season, right? But at the same time, usually when that happens, there's room for trades and things to happen. I'll go ahead and get them out the way now. So, Lonny, what are your thoughts about that? Because we did pick up an edge rusher in the first round of the NFL draft and also the fifth round as well too. Some great talent. So what do you feel about this if this was to happen?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, Chase Young, this really dates back to last year sometime when he was coming off of that injury. Mm-hmm. He injured the ACL. There was some friction already there in Washington. Being a Chiefs fan, we kind of watch situations like this too, because anytime there's a little smoke on the home front, I'm just probably giving a little keys out. I'm sorry. We look for problem situations and great players that are possibly going to be traded away on their rookie deals that we can get them to a Super Bowl, not pay them, but use them. So in this situation, it's kind of been it's looking like it could possibly be like that, kind of like that Tony situation, but we're late. Like you said, it is later in his career. They declined that fifth-year option on him. I feel like it'll be a great addition to the team. That'll really solidify that defensive line. If you wanted to solidify that defensive line for that year, I don't see Beach paying him long term. Just with the injury questions, unless it's like just he has a stupendous, crazy season, and it's like he has to be paid. Or the top DM market money is going to come from another team for sure. It won't come from the Chiefs, but I feel like that will give us that bookend pass rush, that San Francisco look, that headhunter look, that Eagles look that they were giving us in the Super Bowl. The four defensive linemen getting after it, and that'll take a lot of pressure off your young secondary. Even though I feel like we'll have one of the best secondaries in the league with that experience that they have now. But yes, I feel like that would be a great move. It definitely will make sense, and it is the type of situation we typically look for when the Chiefs are trying to pick up players.
I mean, this is a team who also was looking at Josh Allen last year as well, too, at the trade deadline for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The move makes sense just because that's one position I feel the Chiefs has been lacking at. However, they have gotten some great play out of in the recent years. I mean, Frank Clark, of course, has had a great postseason run. And then you bring in George Karlaftis, but you also bring in vets like Carlos Dunlap, Melvin Ingram, Terrell Suggs in those years when you were competing for a Super Bowl. So it makes sense for them to go after someone at this age who's coming off a rookie contract, and then if it's a low risk, high reward for them, because if they're able to get him to that elite level that he was, because this is a former second round pick in the NFL draft, not just a couple years ago. So having that type of talent on your defensive front, it's only going to make it a lot better. Now, even I understand that we did go out and get that kid from Kansas State, King Felix, and we do love the upside that we can get from him. And then you also got another rusher, B.J. Thompson, as well, too, in the fifth round. But bringing in a guy like Chase Young, who was a former first round draft pick, why would you not go out there and go ahead and do that? You have the cap space because he's in this rookie deal. You bring him over, win a championship with him again as well. We see how many sacks that he total up. That might be your go-to, because if he's able to get 12 plus sacks in our defense, we're automatically going to just look out and be like, hey, you might as well sign him. That's what we did for Frank Clark. He came off that great season with the Seattle Seahawks, had 15.5 sacks. Now, he didn't amount up to the same type of statistics those following years with us in the regular season, but he was definitely someone who pushed us over the hump, brought that leadership, brought that fire, brought that swagger that we needed on the defensive side, that pushed us over and actually helped us win a Super Bowl twice. So if you get a guy like this, it will definitely kill the Frank Clark talk of him coming back, because you're going to have a lot of depth on that defensive line. But also, you can probably go in the inside more, and I have a hot take for that later on after this segment, after I give my thoughts on that in our next topic. So, but this is a guy who can come in and play right now. I understand he had that injury last off season where the organization was actually frustrated at what he did. So, coming into a system like this where you have Andy Reid, you have Steve Spagnuolo, they're actually going to guide you in the right direction and have that leadership front to tell you like, hey, we need you to just worry about your health. We're going to make sure you get all the reps you need and work with guys to get you ready for the next upcoming season, because he got hurt when he went to that Von Miller camp, and they was actually frustrated about that. And we want guys to go out there and compete and participate, but if you're going to put yourself in a position to where you was out majority of the season last season due to that injury, then they're going to be mad about that. And I think that's one of the sole reasons why they decline his fifth year option, because they feel like he's not following the instructions that they have going on. Now, however, they did have poor leadership with the owner. He actually just end up selling the team, Dan Campbell. So there's going to be a shakeup on that already as well. But him coming in, that's what we want. And I think it would make perfect sense. So any more thoughts before I move on to our last piece that we talk about?
Yeah, Chase Young is, like you said, it makes sense. And like you said, he did hurt himself at that Von Miller camp in the offseason. That is kind of what brought that bad blood about and bring that smoke on the home front there in Washington. And yes, the leadership does start from the top down, starting with the Snyder family, Snyder owner, Dan Snyder, all the way down.
Yeah, excuse me, Dan Snyder.
They needed to change that whole entire organization around. If they really wanted some leadership, that's where it had to start. So they're just now getting real leaders. So I don't feel like Chase would really be a part of that, but I feel like they would need that changing of the guard. They need to just get some new leaders in there for sure.
Yeah, they're in a position now where they're gonna probably feel like they need a clean house. Let's start fresh. They're going to keep the guys that they feel is important, because they still got guys like Montez Sweat. They got a good defensive front already as well too, where they're already set. Okay, and then you bring in Bieniemy on the offensive end, where they're going to be taking care of that offense. So really, we'll see how it goes for them. But yeah, I think that just be a great pickup for the Chiefs. They maybe think about it, see what they do, maybe send out for next year's second round pick and probably a late round pick as well too. They bring him over. He's not worth the first round pick. I'm gonna just put that out there right now, especially with the stats that he put up in the previous seasons. I don't even think he had a double digit sack season yet, but he's very effective. So maybe we can get that out of him. Low risk, high reward, like I said. Now for our last part of our talk of the day before we get out of here and talk to you guys another time. Just a quick hot take. Now, Lonnie, I'm gonna just go start off with mine. Who could be a late offseason addition to the KC roster before the season start? Ndamukong Suh, defensive tackle. We need some more people, big guys up in the front. He also said that he's not trying to go to mini camp as well either. So this just makes sense. He just want to be a late pickup, knowing that he's going to come in. I understand that this was one of the most penalized guys in the league, but you see he was disciplined in that Super Bowl against us. With that Tampa Bay front, I think you bring somebody nasty up there with up front with Chris Jones. It's going to just make your defensive line all around elite. It's going to help those younger guys as well too. If you're not able to get someone like Chase Young. So, what's your thoughts, real quick, before we get out of here?
The Ndamukong Suh is definitely a good pickup. We're always looking for help, like you said, on front. Man, we have a young secondary, so anytime we're young on the back end, you always want to have that front end pressure, bro. That takes a lot of pressure off of your back end players. So I feel like Ndamukong Suh would be a great pickup. I haven't really looked through all the free agent acquisitions yet, but I would say, yeah, Ndamukong Suh. Man, and like I said, the shark. Anything up front, man, we're big advocates for the pass rush. But we'll have to see. The deal will have to make sense for us. It will have to make sense for us, Frank. It will have to make so much sense for us. But
Frank, if we get Chase Young,
the pressure on there.
If we get Chase Young,
we look like San Francisco. Imagine us rushing four
Lonny, he's taking it there already, everybody. Okay. I'm not gonna push it there. But it could be.
Man.
It could be.
Man.
It could be. All right, but that's all we got for this episode of Chiefin with Daily Dale. We're going to come back with some more episodes later on this week. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms at Kansas City Sports Company. They abbreviated KC Sports Company on both Facebook and Twitter, and also Instagram. Follow our YouTube page as well too, Kansas City Sports Company. It's also abbreviated KC Sports Company, so you can find us like that. On my social media, Facebook, Dale Fowler Jr., on Twitter, Dale E. Fowler, on Instagram, Daily_Dale39, Lonny, let them know what's up.
So on Instagram, it's _Lano, on Twitter, _LONNO, so _Lano on Twitter is a tag, is the handle. And like I said, I still got to get my other social medias up and running. Still, like Dale said, still in the Stone Age. We're getting there. I just got my Twitter handle fixed today, y'all. I just got my Twitter handle fixed the other day.
We're getting there.
We're getting everything together.
We're getting everything
together. And we're gonna be interacting and getting everything going, getting these topics going, and keeping it going, keeping these debates going, keeping it fire going, keeping it all coming to y'all, man. We appreciate all the support.
We're just lit all the time. We're lit all the time.
Lit all the time.
You never
know. We love Chiefs. Love the Chiefs.
We love it. We love the Chiefs.
Love sports in general.
Man, that's what we do. That's what we talk. But hey, that's all we have for this episode of Chiefin with Daily Dale. We'll talk to you on the next one. See you soon.